Hello, YouTube. Today I will be reading from the Bible. The Bible. I will be specifically reading from the book of Esther. I've never read the book of Esther before, but I know it is 11 pages long and 10 chapters. So, cheers. And let's get to reading. That's my Bible. Okay. Chapter 1. Queen Vashti. Maybe I'll just do it chapter by chapter. Chapter by chapter. But I think if I just do it in one video, then I won't have like a ton of videos that I have to manage. I'll just do it on one video. All right, here we go. Chapter 1. Queen Vashti disposed. This is what happened during the time of Xerxes. The Xerxes, who ruled over 127 provinces, stretching from India to Kush. At that time, King Xerxes reigned from his loyal throne in the citadel of Susa. And in the 3rd year of his reign, he gave a banquet for all his nobles and officials. The military leaders of Persia and Media, the princes and the nobles of the provinces were present. For a full 180 days, he displayed the vast wealth of his kingdom and the splendor and glory of his majesty. When these days were over, the king gave a banquet lasting 7 days. In the enclosed garden of the king's palace, for all the people, from the least to the greatest, who were in the citadel of Susa. Oh, end of sentence. The garden had hangings of white and blue linen, fastened with cords of white linen and purple material, to silver rings on marble pillars. There were couches of gold and silver on a mosaic pavement of porphyry, marble, mother of pearl, and other costly stones. Wine was abundant, in keeping with the king's liberality. By the king's command, each guest was allowed to drink with no restrictions, for the king instructed all the wine stewards to serve each man what he wished. Queen Vashti also gave a banquet for the women in the royal palace of King Xerxes. On the seventh day, when King Xerxes was in high spirits from wine, he commanded the 7 eunuchs who served him, Mehuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, Abagtha, and Zithar, and Carcass, to bring before him Queen Vashti, wearing her royal crown in order to display her beauty to the people and the nobles, for she was lovely to look at. But when the attendants delivered the king's command, Queen Vashti refused to come. And then the king became furious and burned with anger. Since it was customary for the king to consult experts in matters of law and justice, he spoke with the wise men who understood the times and were closest to the king. Koshna, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Meres, Marsena, and Memucan, the 7 nobles of Persia and Media who had special access to the king and were highest in the kingdom. According to the law, what must be done to Queen Vashti? He asked. She has not obeyed the command of King Xerxes that the eunuchs have taken to her. Then Memucan replied in the presence of the king and the nobles, Queen Vashti has done wrong, not only against the king, but also against all the nobles and the people of all the provinces of King Xerxes. For the queen's conduct will become known to all the women, and so they will despise their husbands and say, King Xerxes commanded Queen Vashti to be brought before him. But she would not come. And this very day the Persian and the Median women of the nobility who have heard about the queen's conduct will respond to all the king's nobles in the same way. And there will be no end of disrespect and discord. Therefore, if it pleases the king, let him issue a royal decree, and let it be written in the laws of Persia and Media, which cannot be repealed. That Vashti is never again to enter the presence of King Xerxes, and also let the king give her royal position to someone else who is better than she. And then when the king's edict is proclaimed throughout all his vast realm, all the women will respect their husbands, from the least to the greatest. And the king and his nobles were pleased with this advice. So the king did as Memucan proposed. And he sent dispatches to all parts of the kingdom, to each province in its own script, and to each people in their own language, proclaiming in their own language that every man should be ruler over his own household, using his native tongue. Okay, we're 11 minutes in, and I know attention spans aren't much longer than that. So that's just the end of chapter 1. And I guess we'll just do it chapter by chapter. Okay.